Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Please do not forget to subscribe. So I'm just going to bring you in on some live testing. So I'm finally starting the kind of dressing, you know, like really interior dressing for kind of dashboards and vinyl, you know, plastics and trim and all that sort of stuff. I've got a dashboard here which I bought from a breaker car, which is from a Volkswagen. This nice kind of, what is it, charcoal, kind of dark grey. It's nice. It will show like the differences. Hopefully, a darkening effect will be more visible on this than a black one. So this is absolutely perfect. I'll keep this for good. I've cut the bottom off so I can slide it up there when I finish with it. It's good, isn't it? So that's going to become a really important test tool. Saying on Instagram, I've nearly got enough to build a car. Excuse me. Still feeling a little hoarse. So I'm just going to bring you in on where I'm at with the testing. Here's our kind of lineup here, and I was thinking about getting a lot of bulk trade products in there as well, you know, but I haven't. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I think this is probably enough. You can tell me what you think. And this isn't like winners to losers, but this is ranking on price because I'm just going through and looking at price at the moment. So we've got Carpro PERL here. We've got Gyeon Preserve. We've got Koch TS Top Star. We've got Wax, ceramic graphene inside job. We've got Autoglym vinyl and rubber. We've got 303 Protectant. We got Soft99 Luxury Leather, which is it's an interior care. It's for plastics as well and trim, but it's kind of more advertised as a leather thing. But this is the most appropriate product for what I'm looking for in this test, I think. Meguiars Ultimate Interior Shine Protectant, Carbon Collective Interior Detailer. This is an SiO2 interior detailer. So it's kind of the same thing. There's some differences here, though, aren't there? You know, the apples and apples argument. Angelwax Enigma Interno, which is like a ceramic interior thing. I'm really interested to delve into this one a little bit more. I don't know anything about it, but just look at it a little bit more, try and work out what it is. Is it proper ceramic? Is it solvent based? All that sort of stuff, because these are getting expensive. And the DIY detail, which we've had a look at on the channel, and you might be able to see all those bits floating in there. Well, that's a good sign, because they're little bits of material that are hardening off, like ceramics. I think that's a real ceramic. And as you can see, I'm just going to finish off doing our prices per litre, and I've made some notes about, you know, what they can be used for, because that's going to be useful for picking versatility. So 37.98 Carbon Collective here per litre. That's based on these retail size offerings as well. All of these offerings in the sizes that I have them here. So if you just wanted to go and buy a bottle, we translate that price into a price per litre. But if they're a concentrate, for example, Pearl you use at 1 to 5 on interiors, you know, trim. So what concentration would you use for it on that 1 to 5? So that's the ratio I've given to them. You can use that neat, but I think it'd be unfair to work out cost neat when it's a concentrate. So I've done cost based on what you'd use them to do a dashboard typically. Same with the Gyeon. So these two are very good value. You can see these prices. So the cheap as you can get it, you can get £3.78 per litre cost of chemical. And we're up here to £37.98. It's virtually £38 versus nearly £4. Big difference. And that's not the most expensive, is it? So next is the Angelwax, which is £41.70 per litre at this 500ml offering converted. £41.70 per litre. So it's incredibly expensive. And then the DIY detail, which is £99.26 per litre. I mean, it's going to be a challenge. What did I say? £99.26 per litre. Going to be a real challenge for these three products to claw back the amount of points they've lost. Meguiars have lost quite a lot as well. then it jumps. So I'd say like from Meguiars, look, there's a big jump there of nearly £10. So these four are really expensive, but there's a massive jump between these last two as well. So this price starts getting, it's like a curve. This gets into insane territory for me. And this is what we've got to look at when we do these videos. And you've heard me say it many, many times. A product can still win if it's down here in price. I think we've seen that, or examples of products that have got off to a really poor start but have done really well. But typically, the winners need to get off to a good start and be consistently good all the way through. So you could start saying that these, perhaps we've developed some front runners already with these, maybe these five, you know. We know 303 is going to be strong, and Autoglym is probably going to be really strong in terms of how it performs. So they're still in there. It's like a race, and this is the start. The firing pistola has gone off. And these are the ones that are out the block quickest. And I like looking at these prices, and what I'm going to do now is I'll go through and add them all up, and I'll work out what our average cost per litre is. And I've never done that before with dressings, and I'll remember that average price per litre. And then so when someone says to me, like in future, John, we've got the, can you have a look at the JML, you know, rubber and trim dressing that's just been released, the new JML one, it's really good. And I suddenly look at it and I just, straight away I see, oh, it's 500 mil, it's 22 quid for 500 mil, right, that's 44 quid per litre. Okay, so 44 quid per litre, and the average price per litre is 15 quid. I just say to that person, it's very unlikely I'm going to look at that or recommend it, because it's 3 or 4 times higher than the average cost per litre of 11 market-leading products. So you build up that knowledge after you do all these tests, and you can answer questions very quickly about what you're going to look at. And price has always, since day one, been a very important part of what we do on this channel and the information we give you. And it's a way for me of knowing I'm on track. It does aggravate people, but my theory is anyone who's aggravated by the fact that I'm doing price comparisons isn't a proper viewer. Because if I'm looking for a recommendation and I go hunting around for a review and someone's comparing prices, you know, that's a really factual piece of information that I want to see. And anyone that gets aggravated by seeing that, that's not normal to me. That suggests that there's something going on there that's not normal. So yeah, so it does aggravate some of you apparently, but I'll continue to do it because it's just how I only really have one way of doing this, and that's the way that I've kind of continued to build up through the years. You know, when I started doing this, there was no model, there was no blueprint for me to follow, and I think I've just done so much of it. You get set in your ways a little bit, don't you? And like, I know how I'm going to go about doing this test. It feels kind of quite, as soon as I thought about it, I knew what I needed to do. I knew I needed to get one of these. That's been the hold up with this, is getting that sorted out, but that's done now. We've got some good test equipment here as well, which also gives us an ability to test things in a way that other Chanels do not have. Very, very fortunate to have cool company up the road that, you know, very friendly. I consider them friends, and they've helped me out in so many videos. You know, they helped. Last time we did the PVD thing, we did the glass sealant. You know, I just pinged them and said, have you got any way of measuring optical quality, you know, on test slides? You know, because we're putting a film over there of glass sealant. It's going to reduce optical quality potentially. Can you measure that? Yes, we have that. That's what we do. We've got this equipment, transparency meter. And it's like, oh, brilliant. Go down there, give them the slides, and measure them for us. So having that relationship with RoadPoint has been really, really important for my channel. And in this instance, I've got something here that you may have seen before. Oh, opening it with one hand. Is this the right? I bet it's 50-50. I'm guessing this is the right one because this box is in slightly better condition. Oh no, it isn't. So this is the one that I wanted to show you. You may not have seen. This is not a gloss meter. This is a darkness meter. It measures the darkening effect, how dark something is, which is really cool. So what I can do with these products, so there it is, look at that, the darkness meter. I believe in a thing called love. Row point instruments, look at that, it's heavy. As well, like I said on Jurassic Park, if something's heavy, then it's expensive. That's heavy, that's a proper R&D grade equipment, no Mickey Mouse, you know, no Mickey Mouse Chinese thing. They make that in England, like in their warehouse. They make it all, they're a proper company. So I'm very grateful to those guys. So I'll be able to measure darkening effect of these products and the diminishing, what's the word? Diminution. I think it's diminution, isn't it? So that's how it diminishes. Gotcha. Now, obviously, with an interior dressing, here's an interesting point. This is not out in the environment, so it just sits inside in the UK, you know, or in any car, and the only thing that affects it is sunlight. Sunlight, I don't think, you know, in UV, I don't think it causes significant deg from what I've seen. At least, well, it's a long story, but when they redid the wax testing, we tried to do a long-term UV deg testing on all of those products in the Autoglym tank for 6 months, and it hadn't degraded any of those products. So I don't know how much UV plays a factor, but nothing touches them. So the only thing you really do on a dashboard is wipe it clean. So I figure if I put all these strips here and get a wet microfiber and a spritz of APC, and then just wipe over the whole section where I've got these different strips, just wipe it over and just repeat that until you see the one that's still left. Now, there are some problems because some of them don't alter the finish so much. So how am I going to test it? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just thinking aloud. Something like that's going to have to be employed. I'll probably section off an area of this for that test. And then an area, I could saw it in half, where I just apply them, but I might try to keep that separate from here. I shouldn't touch this too much, it has been cleaned. Where I can just apply them and I want to feel what they're like. Are they slimy? Are they greasy? Do they dry quickly? What do they smell like? Is it a consistent finish or is it patchy? All those sorts of things we're looking at. So very, very interesting. So that's just test one, isn't it? Price, and you can see how that's going to go. Winner gets 10 marks, loser gets 0 marks. There's 11 products in total. So just an easy way to do it, okay? And I think weighting is important as well. Weighting is important. If there's a test that's slightly more subjective and less relevant, like for example, like the finish, you know, is it gloss, is it matte, is it satin? You can't really mark that so much, could you? You know what I mean? So it's like, some things are more important. So I can increase the weighting so that price becomes more of a factor. I'll have a think about that. Because I don't want a product to win or lose because of something that's trivial. Now here's just something I was thinking about a minute ago. You can really see the brands that get marketing. Which brands here understand marketing the best? I think there's 3. Meguiars, Soft99 and Turtle Wax. If all of these products were lined up in the shelves of Halfords, and I've seen this firsthand. People go into Halfords, they're panicking, they're like, people have even asked me, one bloke said, I don't know if because he recognised me, you know, I want this product, where is it? And I'd say to him, here it is. And if I pick it from the Autoglym, it's because I know the range, you know, and I know where to go and get it. But the point I'm making is the Meguiars, it's an interior dressing, so they have a nice picture of your interior with some shine on it. That tells me they understand marketing. Koch, the German company, if this was on the shelf at Halfords and someone rushes in, they're looking for something they can spray around their cockpit to shine it up, they will look at that and they'll see the words TS Top Star. They won't read any of the rest, and their eyes will go straight onto another product, and they'll lock on to the fact they can see a cockpit and a dashboard, and they'll grab this one. That's marketing. Or is it marketing, or whatever it is? So you can see the brands that have been at it for a while, can't you? They've been at it. They know what to do. They've been at it. And they're all the big brands as well, aren't they? The bigger ones. Autoglym are a big brand, but they stick to this type of thing. I suppose you'd get it from the name, wouldn't you, the wording. But a picture is much more intuitive. We spot that seat straight away, and we know it's a seat dressing without having to read. So, yeah, I think also from a neutral point of view, the best looking product here, in my opinion, is the Meguiars. That looks absolutely smoking to me. That design, that bottle, it's unique, it's slender, fits the hand perfectly. You could use these bottles in the professional sense. These Opus triggers, compression triggers, are very good quality, and they're not cheap, and they've colour matched it to their branding. Slick, that's really great, that is. Yeah, so I make little notes, very well branded, because it's important. Yeah, and I think, you know, this is just going through my head, tell me if you disagree, but the detailing brands don't get it quite as good. Whenever you see these little bottles, you always think of a smaller companies, smaller brands, you know, and they're sort of putting the labels on, whereas you think this is an industrial scale. There's design have gone into it, you know, designers made all this, someone that's very talented, and it's all put together on a big production line and all that sort of stuff. So you can tell the sort of smaller scale versus the bigger scale, can't you? Which is something that comes to my mind. I've just been going through making notes. There's lots of positives about the Carpro PERL, but I do know there's going to be some negatives with this. So this could be a favourite to do very well because it's a concentrate and it's versatile. But there are some issues with it, and how this finishes is very important, especially to people that are, you know, they can't accept anything other than a good finish when you're using these products professionally. Both of these products are very similar. Gyeon and Carpro, they're not the same products. They both now have got to the stage where they're massive and they manufacture. But, you know, they all started from humble origins, and they're both Korean brands, I think. So these are similar, these products. Even the dilution ratios are similar. So maybe the technology, the SiO2 element is very similar. So they might be very similar products, who knows? But on layman's terms, the Carpro's off to an advantage. But that advantage, even though it's half the price, this is where this test is a bit skewed. It only gets a 1 point advantage over the Gyeon, but really, this is worthy of more points, that price point, isn't it? I mean, £38 per litre versus 90, let's just say 100 because it adds to the drama, versus £100 per litre. So if it was 10 times more expensive than the Carpro, it would be £30. It'd be £37. So it's not 10 times, it's like 30 times more expensive. 30 times! 30 times! But it's a different technology. Is it worth the money? This is all the stuff I want to know. And I talked about this, you know, I'd love to have seen independent testing with all the product claims. Most of these products, when I went through, are claiming that there's UV protection in all of them, except for the Soft99. But when I wrote that spreadsheet down, it was all done from going to like websites and checking it. And I bet if I go onto the bottles, it may mention UV protection. It did on one of them that I gave across, I think the Koch. So, but I'm not sure if this mentions the word UV. And if it doesn't mention that it's got UV protection, I can't give it marks for that. And I think UV protection is a key thing. So I'm just, for the time being, on that one, I'm going to put a negative UV, and I'll chase that up and see. It has to either say it on the website or the bottle. UV protection, I don't think that does. It could be a problem. I'm going to struggle to test UV. I put a negative here, spray. This product, you might think I'm being pedantic, but you go to the application, straight there, spray onto a soft sponge. Well, you can't spray it because it doesn't come with a sprayer. It will pour out of the top. Well, you're being pedantic. No, I'm not. That's just a negative. So someone could get that and go, well, I can't follow the instructions. So that if I get poor results, you know, it's pedantic, but you need to be pedantic. So don't tell your customers to spray your product if it's not in a sprayer. And they might not have a sprayer, so they've got to go back out and buy a sprayer or something, whatever. So yeah, what do I put here? False volume information. On the website, when I was doing all the prices, it said it was 500 mil, but on the bottle it says 473 mil. Whenever you advertise something online, I believe you're supposed to put the volume that you get, because some of these companies, and even some of these companies in this test, I've seen a little bit of jiggery pokery with all of that, and they try and make out smaller things. Like, I'll just tell you what was on my mind rather than chopping around there. When I did the Meguiars snow foam, they put it in one of those small things that looks like a jerry can that holds 5 litres, but actually holds 1 litre. And then some of the resellers just say Meguiars snow foam and show you the thumbnail, you know, 20 quid, and you think you're buying 5 litres, and then a little tiny diddy, one of those things turns up, and you thought you were paying for 5 litres. So they're supposed to put the amount there. They still can get away with putting it in a tiny little amount in the corner, something like that. But somewhere said 500 mil, and I think it's 473 mil. Yes, they're probably not going to mince their words about, you know, 20 odd mil of product, but still, I pick up on it because that's what we do. That's what we do. So I've got to go through and go through all of this, dump my thoughts on what the negatives are. You know, I've put here with the Autoglym, I always pick up on this, the ergonomics of this bottle. Look at my hand. One finger slips under the trigger and stops you squeezing. 2 fingers get stuck on the collar of the bottle, and then you can sort of go with one. It just doesn't feel comfy in the hand. You're going to have a hand like a ninja after a few years of using this. Will Autoglym ever change that? Because it's like a signature thing for them. I doubt it. It would be a massive day if Autoglym ever changed that and went to a different shaped bottle that was more like this. A massive day, and it would be a sad day in some ways. I've always been complaining about this, but it would be a sad day when that became like that bottle, wouldn't it? Would it? Don't know. If Autoglym changed, they'd have to do something special, something different from the herd. Yeah, so poor ergonomics on bottle. At the moment, I can't think of too much. I'd have to have a good look and think about this. Can't think of anything too bad about this. You know, it comes with a good sprayer, reasonably branded product. A bit white's almost always a bit. White's never quite as cool as black, is it? Is it like that? Meguiars black bottle just looks really, really cool. White almost has a more of a washing machine, you know, appliance, cleanliness to it. Not quite as cool as that colour for me. I don't know. But yeah, hard to criticise that. This, the UV protection, an obvious criticism of that is it's really, even though it's for plastics and they've put this thing on the collar, you know, interior care, you know, clean, preserve leather and plastic interior parts, really it looks more like a leather conditioner to me. So is there an element of kind of, is it a makeshift plastic dressing, you know, more leather conditioner or cleaner, whatever, cleaner. So we'll explore that more. Meguiars at the moment, I'm worried about shine. I'm worried about the word shine, because I read the blurb as well on the website that this glosses it up. You know, look, high gloss shine. Is that going to give you the Armour All look? You know, the taxi drivers where they get the Armour All, they get the bucket of Armour All and they put a grenade in the bucket, they close all the doors, pull the pin, run, and then the grenade of silicone goes poof, and the whole car, interior car, the dashboard is just slimed and shining, but you touch it and your hand like sinks into the slime. I'm sure it won't be that bad, but I'm interested because I don't, unlike my Golf, I'll spray anything. I don't care if it shines. You know, if this is my Golf, very similar dashboard actually to my Golf, the same generation, I think it is off a Golf Plus, I think, or something like that. It's virtually the same dashboard. I don't care if this is shining a bit. I don't give a monkeys. But on a really nice car, you might not want to alter that OEM finish on a real high quality leather dash. The more it alters the finish, the more you have to make sure you get it everywhere, where you see the little lines around the edges where you miss it, and you've got to really get it everywhere. Whereas the ones that sort of feather in a bit more, aren't too dramatic, can be a bit more friendly to use, and they just add a more subtle look, or it might not even change the look. So it depends what you're after. Yeah, down with these three. Carbon Collective's really going to have to impress me at that price point, because it's like, you read it and it's more like a detailer, but interior protectant's quite a strong word. Developed with SiO2, so it's not out of place in this test. It's exactly what I want to be in this test. It's good label, it tells me what it's all for, but it's just off to a stinker with that price. It's a stinker. If I got that right, $18.99 for 500 mil, I have. Yeah, you know, I know Carbon Collective will say it's a high quality product. You know, maybe it is, but I'd argue that these aren't Mickey Mouse, are they? These are all high quality stuff as well. These are not sort of like JML, you know, budget things. These are all premium brands, so they're going to be high quality chemicals as well. It's off the market price, and we'll figure out where the market price is. I would imagine this skews the market price massively, but you would be looking, wouldn't you, a sort of market average of somewhere between 15 and 20 pounds. That's way off. And it's not a true ceramic, it's an SiO2, which is, a few of these are SiO2, aren't they? This one's ceramic, is it? These are SiO2. Don't know about that one. Yeah, there's less SiO2 than you think. So they could say, well, this is ceramic, but this is water-based. That, I think, might be water-based as well. I'm interested in this one. This has got to really perform. And this has got to really perform. The thing I'm worried about DIY detail, because it doesn't alter the finish too much. So it costs an arm and a leg. It doesn't alter the finish too much. I'm not even sure it's that hydrophobic. But it is a genuine ceramic. But I think my fear is it's not going to be able to demo anything. And it's going to come down to the Emperor's new clothes. You know, you can't see it's there. You can't really notice you've protected it. It costs an arm and a leg. Is it the latest and greatest thing? Because it's ceramic. Is the UV protection, you know, is the UV protection that I can't measure, is it better? Is the durability that I can't really measure better? And this is where you really need, I talked about it, independent testing of very expensive products. So if DIY Detail could say this product has been independently tested by XXX, you know, some sort of institute that are reasonably, you know, half decent, then it carries a bit more weight to me. But I'm not picking on them, because I can't think of many brands. There are a few that get independent in testing involved. Some will. I've heard of it. I can't remember where, but I'm sure I've heard of independent testing being done on detailing products. Something you tell me in the comments. So there you go, guys. I love grinding through all this stuff with you. I find it really interesting. All these brands that are in here, they're all champion. They're all champion. A bit northern there. Hey up. They're all champion in my book. They're all good brands, so any of them could win. I don't really care which one wins. I'm doing this. I started doing this years ago because I wanted to know what was like the best in each category. And I've built up over the last 10 years through a particular line of work. In my best of playlist on the homepage of my channel, I need to make sure they're all in there, will be a whole load of videos that are the best of comparisons like this. And if you follow all those comparisons, so you're new to detailing, you come in, you go and follow all those comparisons. The object is for you to get products which perform and also save you an absolute packet, which is important. And then, you know, when I hang up my detailing YouTube boots, which I don't know how long, you know, how long have I got left in this game? Who knows? Who knows? Can't be that long. I've been doing it for a long time. But when I hang up my detailing boots and I look back, I can be really proud of those recommendations. And those recommendations also serve the channel very, very well. If you give people the reasons why you're recommending them stuff and show them, it's like, oh yeah, brilliant. They follow you, they trust you, they buy them, and they enjoy them. So the recommendations are strong. That's what it's all about. And I think we do that very, very, very well. You cannot please everyone. But like I say, I've been doing this a long time. Dive bomber. I've been doing this a long time, and you know, you have to take criticism when you do this. You have to have thick skin, which is all good. My skin's not just thick; it's like proper titanium. Everything bounces off me. I don't really care. I can absorb anything. You can say anything to me, but I just find it interesting because I spot what is an abnormal comment. They stick out like sore thumbs to me, and I've been doing it so long I can spot the abnormal comments. And the abnormal comments are when people are complaining about criticism, because criticism, you shouldn't be scared of it. You should embrace it. By criticizing all of these products, by comparing them, we're complimenting them. You know, and these brands have to have courage. And these brands are fine to send me an email and say, John, love what you're doing, or you don't even have to say that, but could you not include our products in your test, please? And I've had brands that have done that, and they will not be in there. And that's absolutely fine. I don't talk about who they are, because what we do might not be right for them. Yeah, not that many, but a few over the years. We also have brands that react badly when you compare them. Yeah, and so when that happens as well, those brands won't get a look in, you know. So, yeah, but hopefully that's a good field, isn't it? It's a good field of, you know, we've got the Germans. We always need the Germans. Koch, superb. We've got big UK brands. We've got more established detailing brands that are not mega Autoglym size, but are recognised, like Angelwax, you know, big. Carbon Collective doing really, really well. Carpro, Gyeon. Yeah, we could have got G-Technic in there. That would have been good. I don't know what their trim dressing is, or if it's a coating. That would have been good. There's millions of brands we could have got in as well. Auto Finesse, Auto Bright. You guys like to see. But I think we've got a good amount here. The ones I was thinking of putting in would be like an industrial one, like an Auto Smart or a Carchem, but Carchem didn't have anything that was quite what I was looking for. More like sort of watery, cleaner ones, where I'm not looking for these milky dressing things, you know. So yeah, we've just gone really for more, not completely retail, but just a good lineup. Let me know your thoughts, guys. This video will be coming soon, I reckon, in the next couple of weeks. I don't think it's going to take long to do this one, actually. I'm going to crack on today, try and finish my initial criticisms, pros and strengths, just from looking at the labels and thoughts and observations. Continue then perhaps to apply them to the panel, leave them, start taking some surface measurements, start building up some more data, take it from there. I figured in terms of what we were going to look at, cost, versatility, claims, you know, what surfaces can it go on, the finish, quality of the finish, I suppose, ease of application, critical, durability, interesting. I don't know how that's going to pan out, how we're going to do that. What else is there really, guys? What else is there? You know, like UV protection, but they've all got it apart from one. But so we'll have to build up a set of criteria for the versatility. You know, there we go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you soon on the channel. Doug.